everyone. How are you? And Happy New Year. Welcome 2018. So I did not get any emails out, and I'm trying to be okay with that. So I decided I'll go live. For the past few months, that's what I've been doing, and it's just felt great. And I love being here with all of you live. So you get to see me and hear me, and it can be quick. Sometimes it can be quick. But I just wanted to wish you all a very, very happy new year. And, I just kind of got I don't want to say a late start. I got a start to 2018. My husband and I rang in the new year during something. We actually went out to dinner. We had date night and went out to dinner. And then we had tickets to this local band at a local city called Delta Spur. And we had a great time. It was great. For so many years, we, just stayed at home and we're cozy. And it's kind of that time of the year, season wise. And, hi Gilda, happy New Year, my friend. Happy New Year, my sister. I hope you had a wonderful one. We normally just stay at home, and it was cozy and warm, especially it was 7 degrees on our way home last night. I mean, it was 7 degrees. It's never been this cold. So most times you want to be home and cozy at that point in time. But, for this New Year's, I wanted to keep the fires going, just a little bit of a burn, home fires going, and we went out. And it had been a while because we actually spent most of our holidays here at home. I live next door to my in-laws. They're just about 100 yards away. So, it was great to get out and just be amongst people that were just celebrating and, the highs and lows of 2017, where it may have taken us. And I think I've shared with many of you, although my word in 2017 was received, it kind of morphed into intense. And I wrote that, receiving everything and learning from everything, and then choosing those lessons that I, from 2017 that I'll take into 2018. So I really wanted to come here and just wish all of you a happy new year, and, just start off right with what's going on this week. So not only are we in a new year of 2018, the year adds up to 11, which is very auspicious for the Ascendant Masters, which is fun. I like to play with numerology and just gain more insight. I don't read it for verbatim. I just take with it what feels good. So, but beyond New Year in 2018 that we've just rung in across the world, that we are experiencing a full moon in Cancer. And I think it's actually really auspicious. And a little bit different than what August was last year. I feel like this is the time that we need to be cozy, and it is really set up for putting together the habits that really will serve us, and actually taking a good, I don't want to say hard look at, but really intricate, detailed look at the things that we don't need anymore. So this weekend, some of the things that I've been doing to kind of welcome 2018 was to clear out our basement. And over probably since in 4 years, I had, I was building things. I was caretaking, but I was also, I had things in storage from when my grandmother passed and when my father passed. And basically when we built the house almost 3 years ago, we just kind of shoved everything in the basement. And that's like the root of our home. And so my husband would joke me about how long I have taken to kind of clear that out. But this weekend and over the holidays, that's what I've been doing. I've been setting up bookshelves and really learning to let go of the things that I don't need. From that point of view, because really one of the things that I was talking to my husband about when I was in the basement, we're just kind of looking at the things that I had brought back from Florida or taken from Missouri from when my grandmother passed and when my father passed in Florida. I was kind of like, wow, these are wonderful. Like the photos are great. They bring back memories. You learn a lot. I found love letters from my grandmother's third husband. I found love letters to my father when he was stationed in the Philippines, where I was. And, it was just really cool. And what I realized was that, it's important to live your life as you want to, because really at the end of it, it only matters to you. Like the things that we gather, the things that we share, they become distant memories, especially the actual physical things. So, that was just something I realized. And that actually, just to lead into it, is Capricorn energy. And so we have a full moon in Cancer. Moon is in Cancer, but the sun is in Capricorn. So that means that the moon is literally opposite the sun in Capricorn. And this is a really interesting combination, because some astrologers, or some astrological ways, the esoteric way, is that the Cancer, the mother, is the beginning, and Capricorn is of working through and releasing in karma. So from an esoteric perspective, these are two signs that are like kind of the beginning and the end. So it's really interesting because we have a full moon in Cancer, and we have the sun in Capricorn. We also have a stellium in Capricorn. So we've got Venus, and we have Pluto, and there is Lilith too, which I've spoken about a couple times. And Saturn moved into Cancer on the 28th, last Friday. And Saturn is going to be in Cancer or Capricorn for a good 2.5, 3 years. And this is the point, Saturn in Capricorn, that I'm really going to talk about, which I was briefly talking about, like kind of cleaning things out. So I really feel that Saturn is a masculine energy. It doesn't mean it's male energy, but it is a focused, masculine, driven type energy. And it is in its home sign in Capricorn. So it feels good there. And so there's a lot of things that are kind of being rebuilt for us, because most things are all the planets are direct. Saturn has this great big pull. And it's also a life lesson in general for all of us that we go through roughly every 7 years. So anyways, but that energy is really heavy. And we're being asked to kind of look at those things that really matter to us in our like depths of ourselves, and what do we want to focus on to grow. Because when we're looking at the depths in an earth sign of Capricorn, and we have the moon sign in a water sign, Cancer, which is nurturing, when we start to grow things from this kind of opposition within us and a deep sense in us, we need to have space. So whether you're creating space physically, like for me, like cleaning out the basement, or you're creating space by really letting go of relationships that maybe don't serve you, changing things in your life, especially right now when we're at the beginning of the new year. So really you want to look at that. That's what this energy is. And it can be very heavy, and it can ask us to be really, really present into our physical being. And so it's asking us to really be here. And that can also be uncomfortable for many of us. So what will happen in that opposition of the moon in Cancer and all of this Capricorn energy is we can often want to escape. Now we can define that, or we can justify that as getting cozy. And yet it can also be, if it's too much indulgence, then it can also be escapism. So we want to be looking at that kind of balance. That's a big place right now with this energy that will last for a couple more days. Now that stellium in Capricorn, Venus is actually going to move. She's a much faster moving planet than Saturn. Is going to move out of that stellium I'd say like the Thursday, Friday. That energy is going to move out of that stellium. So you're going to want to look at that, and just know that stellium energy will lighten up a little bit, but also Venus will be moving on. But if you want to employ the energy of all things that you love, money, relationship, those kind of things, especially setting intentions or feelings for 2018, you want to use that power of Venus. So that's a real big part that's happening, not only with the new year, but with the full moon. But I also talked about Saturn, and Saturn is going to be in Capricorn for, like I said, a few years, a couple of years. And I guess I'm kind of paying reverence to Saturn right now because I'll be going through a Saturn cycle in opposition. Kind of starts now and kind of, we mostly feel it through the sign, but there's some really intense periods based on the exact degree. I'll leave it at that. But for all of us as a collective with Saturn in Capricorn, it really is this like really going in this deep energy, like earth energy that's heavy, and everything's kind of sinking in there. We will not get any lightness until Jupiter. Well, I don't want to say lightness like bright light, but like kind of uplifting. We'll say uplifting. Uplifting energy until Jupiter, which is in Scorpio, will move into Capricorn 2 sometime middle of this year or in a year, I think, because it went into Scorpio either early this year, and Jupiter lasts in a sign about a year, 13 months or so. Sorry, I don't have the ephemeris. I just wanted to come on here and riff with you guys. So I'm just kind of like watching my time. So I really wanted to do this energy read. So we won't get a kind of a lightening up until then, auspiciously, like a lot of energy. So everything's coming down right now into Capricorn, into that Saturn. So another thing that Capricorn actually teaches us is discipline and habits, which is actually really good for New Year. So it's really funny because like, there was something I came to a conclusion, like everyone wants to start New Year's resolution. And my husband and I were having this conversation last night, like, what are my resolutions? And he's like, not that I have any, but what are yours? And I was like, no, that's a good question. I kind of let go of resolutions and I have goals of how I want to create the year or feel through the year. And those goals are centered around what I feel, what I want to feel. And I usually choose a word. I work through that with things that I step into, like one general word. And there's, of course, lots of words that kind of support that. But it was a good question because, looking at Saturn with habits and starting things, like we often look at resolutions, New Year's, and then what, like the gym rat kind of way in me of like it fizzles out like in a March kind of period. So I don't know that they're really, it's not a time period. It's not an energy to really start new things, but it's a time to come back to those habits that really, really were good for you, that really, really kept you on track. It really allowed you to feel good and structured in a really, really good, supportive way, and not the things like you feel. And that's separate from the energy that sometimes we feel like we should be doing these things. So watch the should and just watch what is actually the habits that actually are, that feel really good. I'll give you, for example, I was reminded that, taking the space for 2 hours of my morning ritual and having a bunch of things to pull from that I do ritualistic, that is something that really starts my day. It helps me feel grounded, helps me feel visionary, helps me feel creative. So that's a habit that I've eased back into since the holidays because my husband's been on vacation, that, my regular schedule was kind of disrupted. So that's kind of an example of getting back into the habit versus starting something new. What are the habits that are actually really supporting you? And that's actually going to be the real big question with Saturn in Capricorn for this long of a time. He's at home. He feels great. So I actually talked to some people and I was like, it doesn't have to be something grandiose or big. Like you're letting go of like, I don't know, like this bad relationship, or like you're leaving your job. It can really simply be cleaning out your car, and keeping it clean and keeping it, if that's a place that you spend a lot of time. Or for me, like I said, cleaning out the basement, letting go of things that I really just, they're not for me. They were for somebody else, but they're great memories. And what part of those memories do I want to hold on to of my family? Because really you can't take it with you. So that's some really big energy reader that I wanted to really focus on. Even though we have a full moon in Cancer with a lot of stellium energy in Capricorn, the big move for 2018 is Saturn moving in, which was last Friday, Saturn moving into that Capricorn energy. There is a subtle very subtle grand trine in water underneath all of this energy. So, I've actually spoken to some people that decided that they weren't going to go out, that they were going to stay home, they were going to do vision boards, they're going to be with their loved ones. That's the nourishing, nurturing aspect energy that we're feeling, right? Because it's a much more of a moon in Cancer, but with a grand trine, you've got some water elements both in Pisces and Scorpio. So it was when somebody said like, I want to do my dream board on New Year's Eve, I'm like, that's awesome. Like, because you've got that power, you've got that energy vibing for you at that point in time. So that's actually going on right now. And that will, it's a subtle, it's not real strong, it's a subtle one. And that will also phase out once Venus kind of moves out of that stellium in Capricorn. So this week is some really great auspicious time for planning. You're not too late. You're never late. You're right on time. Astrology is all about timing. So, just realize that. So if you were relaxing and, recharging from the holidays, perfect. That's what you totally needed. That's that cozy energy. We all go back to our regular tuned station tomorrow, so to speak, with the week. And so you still have that energy through the week to work through and to really just deepen into what you want to what you want to come down to the most essential things to growing what you desire in that deep earth and letting that flourish as we enter into this new year. And really only 3 months, we step into spring. So what's up for this week? Awesome stuff. Really cool stuff. I'm really blessed because I've learned to ask for help. And I think that I don't think asking for help is a moment of weakness. I actually think asking for help and support is a very strength that a person can bring. So I've asked for help, and actually, I was actually offered help. So it's one of my words of receiving. I'm receiving help, I guess, and I've accepted it. So I am doing an Instagram live with a dear friend that I have. I've been friends with her for feels like a lifetime. She's amazing. Jessica Safko. She and I will be going live together on Thursday. We're going to be talking about a new program that's coming out. I had briefly talked about it at the end of last year, but I've, through the holiday seasons and through the deepening, I've actually revamped it, and we're super excited. And she's going to help me bring this to life for all of you live on Instagram. And hopefully, we were playing around last week. Hopefully we'll capture that, and I'll be able to send that out to you if you're not on my list. I'm going to change the description, and I'm actually going to I'm just going to put my list in there for all of you if you're not on my list to get more information as things come out. So that is we're going to be doing that on Thursday, the 4th. The 5th, I don't know if you guys have been seeing, there's some posts up there in some of my emails that the 2018 Astrological Mini Bundle, that will be going away at midnight on Friday. So if it's something you're interested in, shoot me a note, send me a direct message, let me know. But my focus is going to change again, coming back to that Saturn energy, really putting my focus into what I'm growing. And the Sorceries of Success program that I'll be talking about with Jessica on Thursday is something I'm really focused on. It doesn't mean that I don't have other offers out there for anyone that may need support. And if you're interested, please get on my list, reach out, send me a direct message. The best way, it's why I'm here. We can really deepen into this energy of 2018 and ask for help. I've been learning that myself. So good things this week. It is kind of like a short week. We're all kind of recovering from the holidays and stepping into it. Just ease into it. Be okay that you're nourishing your body this right time. The full moon is big. She's super moon. A moon in full moon, full wolf moon, super moon. So there's a lot of vibing energy there, which is, she had to hold her own against all that Capricorn energy. So I hope you'll use this guidance for you to kind of set forth 2018 and discover new things of what you want to co-create and change and transform in your life. Because right now, the time is now to be here, to let go of those things and feel secure that it's okay to let go of those things, whether they're tangible things or emotional or even mental things that don't really serve you. So All right. Happy New Year, everybody. And I'll see you later in the week. All right. Take care. Bye.